Sorry in complete advance for how I look right now. I just mowed and I smell gross, but as Jenna Marbles and Julian would say, I am a nasty boy. So I recently did my What the Hey is St. Patrick's Day, and then one of my friends commented, what are leprechauns? So as the video goes, the title is What the Hey are leprechauns, and I'm your host, and welcome to What the Hey. So what the hey is a leprechaun? A leprechaun is basically something that's based off of Irish folklore or lore in general. The meaning of leprechaun is basically that they're like a sprite or a mythical creature, and their general appearance is that they wear a lot of green, they have like pilgrim looking hats, they tend to have beards, and they're usually pretty short. So the time of origin for leprechauns is, as far as I know and researched, they were basically started in the 14th century, and they were found in a story called Fergus Mac Letty, or Fergus son of Letty, and that's like the first apparent addition, like talking of leprechauns. So what do leprechauns basically do? They collect a lot of gold. They also apparently work on shoes, which is apparently a thing. So they work on and mend shoes, and then they're also apparently really mischievous, and they like to joke around a lot, which is pretty funny. It's pretty funny because I was looking up some of the like famous leprechauns that are like known, and some of them, like primarily a lot of them were from like the US and like North American based, which I know there's a lot of Irish descent in the US, but like still a lot of them are like in the US, so I just thought it was pretty funny. So the first, one of the more famous leprechauns is Lucky. He's from the cereal brand called Lucky Charms cereal, which is like the US stereotypical Irish cereal, which if you haven't had it, probably good. The next one that I found was Hornswoggle. He was a WWE wrestler in like 2005, I think. So he did that for a while, and he was like a leprechaun, like his persona, I guess you could say, was a leprechaun. So the next one I believe is actually like an Irish-based character. It's the Notre Dame Leprechaun. It's a fight school, an Irish fight school, I'm pretty sure, and that's like their mascot, which is pretty funny, but that's what it is. The last one that is pretty famous is Lucky the Leprechaun, different from Lucky Charms cereal. Lucky Leprechaun is the mascot for the Boston Celtics basketball team. So that's the last one I found, and there's probably a few others. I know there's like a horror franchise based around the leprechaun, which sounds pretty silly, but yeah, that's the majority of the famous ones. So I completely forgot to do this in my last What the Hey, but now it's time for bonus question. The bonus question is as states, why is Greenland called Greenland if it's white covered in ice? Like, why is it covered in snow? And if you're new to the channel, bonus questions are from this friend that I know, and they send me questions, and I answer them via my own personal opinion, like answer, and then I do historical backup fact of that question. So here we go. So if you know, this is my opinion, if you know, Greenland is not really green, it's primarily icy, as the question basically states. So I think it's called Greenland to basically be like, oh yeah, it's cooler. It's cooler than it actually is. Like when you have like broccoli, but you put shredded cheese on it, so it's better than it actually sounds. So my answer to that question is similar to the actual historical answer to the question, which is there's this guy named Eric who was like opted out of where he lived because he had murdered someone, and they exiled him to what we know now as Greenland. And to attract people to come settle where he was, he called it Greenland so that people would want to be there. So basically it's the thing of like putting shredded cheese on broccoli to make it seem better than it actually is. There you go. So that is today's What the Hey. I hope you enjoyed. I will be making more stuff in the future. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in a later date from now. Bye.